Hello, hello. Oh, blessings under the light of this build up to this Gemini full or new moon. I keep calling it a full moon. It's so funny. My brain is so scrambly. I was sitting this morning and just kind of tuning into the sun and to the moon and this energy of Gemini, which rules early childhood. And I have my little monkey wizard, 8-month old, here with me for this. And he's actually inspired or has been part of what is like just present moment inspiring so much of what I have been feeling from the sun and the moon for us, for me. What a time to be here on Earth with so much changing, so much just around us. One of the main things that I have been super aware of for myself and for us is it is vital in these days, and especially in these days that are going to be summer days, to be working with our nervous systems and be working with getting a threshold that feels regulated. And whatever that word means to you, a word I've been playing with instead of regulated, because sometimes that can make me feel like I'm doing something wrong if it's not perfectly in alignment or regulated, is I've been playing with what feels like coherence to me right now, or what feels like equilibrium to me right now. And again, with Gemini being this time of early childhood, I have felt spirit and cosmos really asking us to go back and do a little bit of time traveling. And in this new moon energy where we're seeding again for the next month, to include some of your childhood and you as a child in that. Maybe there's a specific age that really stands out to you. Um, but I would really encourage you to kind of tune into that space. What were some of the dreams that you had at that time? What were some of the deep knowings you had at that time? What were some of the gifts? Were there reoccurring physical dreams? Were there things that happened that made you feel afraid that were consistent or made you feel alive that were consistent? Before I share the chart, I just want to give an example. I had in my backyard this indigenous girl who was my age who would come to me and play with me, and it was completely in the spirit realm, but I could see her. I would have conversations with her. I hung out with her like every single day. And over time, just because of a myriad of different reasons, I lost touch with her, but she comes into my practices now as a grown 30 something adult often as I'm touching back into the way I used to play, the way I used to converse with her and myself. And as an early adolescent, I personally felt like there was something I was here on the planet to do. Specifically, that was actually really different than my familial upbringing. And over time, with hard things that have happened in my story, like there has been this energy that I can get or feel jaded when it comes to going back to some of those dreams and like some of the wounds of Gemini where it can get kind of cynical and it can get just that jaded, like, oh, well, that was just like a childlike like dream or wonderment and kind of dismiss it. And so much of what I felt like the cosmos is inviting, is my little adolescent is here, is to go back and get in touch with her, to go back and get in touch with those dreams again. And so I really want to invite that as a practice for you, for us, under this new moon. As different things are coming in that we're seeding, bring in yourself as a child. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see the images here of the symbols. So here's the sun, here's the moon, both at 24 Gemini in 3 minutes. This is going to be happening for me on the West Coast, 7:55 p.m., but just correlate this to wherever you're watching and tuning in from. And um, This is a really potent summer around purpose. I think that word can get kind of interesting in our vocabulary, but I really want to invite you to almost play like you're hearing that word purpose for the first time in the lens of what did purpose feel like to you when you were an early adolescent on this planet before there were hard things? And sometimes, sometimes, get you something else here, monkey. Like none of us had perfect familial structures, right? Like we all had have wounds from our parents. That's just the nature of being human. But I want to invite you to really tune into in this energy of in this dream of and so much of what I hold for my son and my relationship with my son is like letting Father Son in our sky nourish you, letting Mother Earth nourish you, letting them hold you. You can even play with them. I like to play with the moon as mother too, like sun as father, moon as mother. What would these divine parents, these perfect parents, what would they do for you? What ways would they to these moments in your childhood where you had these dreams or you had these connections with other dimensions and realities and time and space and color and purpose and dreams and visions, how would they hold the space for you? Now, so much of this is like what you get to start doing for yourself or continue doing for yourself if you've been on this journey of kind of reparenting, as some call it. But I also think that there is something to, back to the nervous system piece, allowing our physical bodies to feel like there is homeostasis and there is coherence. And I think that because Uranus is in Gemini, there's a planet here that is causing these winds of change to blow in this sign of play, of color, of that early adolescence, of imagination. I just want to preface, and I'll speak more on this in other videos for sure, but this is a summer where the cosmos is going to keep drawing us back into our purpose, our deep, deep medicine, like what we're actually here to do. And if we are not doing it, there's going to keep being these waves to pull us back in of like, hey, it's this. Hey, it's this. And that might look like obstacles in the road in other areas, right? So knowing that is part of why I'm saying, like, let's get in touch with some of those dreams from the beginning when we were in the space before we were jaded, before we were hurt, before we knew some of the more 3D Earth reality. And let's go back and remember what we came here with and the gifts that were there and the purpose that was there and tap into that because that's what's going to keep kind of drawing us. The cosmos, the planets are kind of drawing us back to do sort of that timeline hopping. So here's Sun and Moon. Uranus is here a little bit behind in Gemini, here to create change, but it's change that's for liberation. So just even knowing, like, as the new moon is taking place, there is this planet that is asking for your freedom and for your liberation and is creating these waves of change, but for you, for us. And I think it's really beautiful that Siri's great mother is here in the process of all of this too. So again, coming back to felt sense in the body, what feels like coherence. I want to say too, I've been really playing with like my heart energy. And there were years where I worked way lower body because I think when we just live from the heart up, we're definitely in spaces where we can get more manipulated, pulled on, overgive, especially healer types or empathetic types. So I want to say it's so important before we really work with our heart medicine or get clear here to have a connection with our root in our womb or our hara if you're a man and really like clarify sacral and root like into the earth, strong foundation But then with that foundation coming into heart, and I mean, they can measure this. Its electromagnetic field goes out, I think it's 3 to 6 feet. Like it is a large range. And it has so much power in that electromagnetic field. So I've been playing with this, especially as I've been nursing, or in moments where Forrest, my son, is having some sort of a meltdown. I'm literally doing it right now as I create this video to just kind of keep calm in the room, is really radiate out a coherent frequency. I like to imagine joy and serenity. Those are like my two words with him since he was a spirit baby. But tune into what feels right to you and play with your heart coherence through this next month. And again, we're seeding in the new moon, we're seeding, but all of the coherence space and the nervous system feeling safe is going to allow your purpose, your voice, your medicine to come forward in clarity, in power, and without so much of that, like literally, I'm like hearing like the kind of shaky voice that you can get if you feel afraid or nervous. And it doesn't mean you're going to do your medicine in the world without fear. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a ground that's solid that you're standing on that's really wanting to kind of come forward in that frequency of coherence, drawing on the wisdom of the past and the future, right? Because, hey, time doesn't even exist. Just seems like it to us in this 3D Earth reality. The last thing I want to say, and then I'm going to close with a reading, is that just a few days prior to this new moon, it was actually on the 9th, Jupiter and Venus went conjunct, they merged. You can actually see them in the sky still. Go outside as the sun is setting, look west. You'll see the two of them. They're the two brightest planets. Get in touch with them in real time outside. Be in their energy. But these are the two planets that are bringing in an abundance and an expansion of pleasure and beauty and harmony and equilibrium and that feeling of safety. And then just the day before this new moon, Venus has gone into Leo, which is literally all about creating your space, your voice in the world, in boldness, in sort of that like lion, lioness energy. She's here to really, really move you to create from your heart. Leo rules the heart. And so, again, can you feel the importance of being in coherence and having a nervous system that feels like it's stable and it's safe so that it can really be who it came here to be in fierceness, in truth, in audacity, in liberation? So, it's a beautiful, beautiful new moon, but it is asking us to do something. And it might look like the smallest act, but I encourage you to set aside some sort of space or symbol. Maybe it's setting out a photo of yourself from that time period that speaks to you, but just get in touch with you in that early adolescence before 7 years old space. And I want to close us with a reading from Star Sparks. This is like an oracle for the different zodiac signs and degrees. And this, I'm going to stop the share here. This is for this new moon in Gemini. The symbol or the image to sit with first is a cave in deep ocean waters. So let that just kind of settle. If you want to close your eyes for this, please do. A cave in deep ocean waters. We can remember the future if we drop into it and keep on sinking into where it takes us. Sometimes it looks like the past. When we take that journey, we go back to the places in other lifetimes where we woke up, looked around, came to ourselves, and realized our purpose and our destiny. And when we bring all of that forward, it just comes to us from down the road and onward into the next octave, just as stunning as it used to be, but now clearer, more sustainable, more grounded and true. We go backward and forward. We go way deep in. What we find in each time and place is what we put there, the markers, the signs, the cues. We made sure before, and we will make sure again to help the present time soul to remember, to come out of the nightmare, to recognize what's really happening here in the larger sense. We are almost flooded with multiple worlds, past and future, and everywhere. These each thematically cry out to counter the conditioned state of mind. Someone deep inside us and also beyond us is tremendously intent on pulling us through the contemporary consciousness's deadlock. Why would it be so important? What's the story here? Could it be that our true being was and will be on a sufficiently wakeful beam of keenest awareness, one that reaches through us to now and just won't let us drop the ball of evolution? Even if our habits, even if our habits would try to cause us to try to be like everyone else, to throw off this kind of destiny as being far too much to carry through with. We may not like it very much, but we are greatly fortunate to inherit and be able to look forward to an attunement within a realm far beyond the world of today. This spoils our fun, makes every diversion empty. Yet it also primes us to take seriously something that keeps coming up and saying, "Don't you remember? Haven't you seen it yet? Surely you're paying attention to that incredible vision that is hurtling at you with your name on it." I have chills. The sun and the moon really, really brought in this book when I was sitting with them before I recorded this, and may that reading sink deep. May we come into even more coherence and clarity around our purpose, our voice, our vision, our childlike wonder. I'm so delighted to hear in the comments what's coming up for you. And my little wizard monkey needs me. So that's all for now. Take good care. New moon blessing.